Hello YouTube, it is PokeCon14, and what is going on? I am back. What is this screen? What is this game? What is this code doing over here? Where have I been? What am I doing? I'm sure you have all these questions. These are not questions I have. I'm actually answering them in case you are wondering about why I was asking all these questions. But I am back to fulfill a promise that I had made multiple times and hinted at probably throughout the past 5 years or so, of me wanting to make this video, and yet at still one point not doing so, until I am finally having it forced upon me to either make this now or move across the country without the laptop that only allows me to record this video. Oh, and there it goes. That's a lot in one sort of intro. All this to say, so I made a second video game. You might remember the first time that I had that video a long time ago about Viva La Resolution, a junior year of high school project I made a video about the game and about the code, and I was super excited that I made a video game of sorts that had zero progression, zero levels, and just was super basic, but I did it. And that is in that little eye thing in the corner of your screen, whichever direction it's going to be. I'm not exactly quite sure anymore. And I made a second game since then on my computer, like this old computer. I can't even run it on a new computer anymore. It's so old. The code is no longer valid Swift code. It's been just that long. But here it is. I wanted to show it off and maybe talk a little bit about kind of what's going on here as far as the little bit of behind the scenes of making a game and what it's like to actually code a video game of sorts. So this is called Dodge. I made it on Apple Swift and Xcode from a long time ago. And the game is the goal of the game is exactly what it seems. To dodge, where you are trying to be in a ship and dodge these asteroids as they come at you. I'm not exactly sure how many rocks, maybe about 40, let's see, five extra large ones, 8 large ones, 21 medium, and then like 41 small. So all these separate rocks that come at you get spawned randomly, spawn more frequently as time goes on. And yeah, you are in this little ship that can move only left and right. You can press the space bar to accelerate yourself in your movement a little bit. Dang. And you have to keep dodging asteroids for as long as you can, and then the game's over. And there are some bugs, like the ship disappearing there for whatever reason. This is a nice, actually more addicting than you'd think little game. Either I can get on it and play like 30 seconds and be bored, or get really hooked and play for much longer than I expected whenever I'm just trying to have fun and play with this little game that I made. But yeah, it's fun. It's a nice little game, and it taught me quite a good bit about game programming and what is it like to be better at programming. And I can look back on some of this stuff now and think, my goodness, Connor, what are you doing? And like this little part right over here. So I don't know how much of you guys know anything about coding and computer science, but things are pretty well done, pretty well automated. And at one point, luckily I've changed this by now. So I had a separate line for all like 100 of these rocks whenever I had to add my rocks to the screen. So it's add rock, S0, S1, S2, 3, 4, all these rocks separately. Eventually I kind of figured out that I can do all of this in just a few lines of code. But again, I'm looking back at myself as like my second or so year of knowing how to program, and a lot of this stuff is like, what in the world was I doing? So if you wanted to pause at any point, you can kind of see the code scrolling through. You have your ships, you have your rocks, you have timers and resetting and pausing and unpausing. And I don't even think I know how to pause. I've been trying to pause this game just to be able to show it off and just stop on a good screen, but alas, it's not a thing. But again, you can see that whole, why didn't I automate more of these things in coding, where you have this little function here that, given a number, this whole count here, it'll give you a different rock. And instead of being able to automatically map the number 5 to the 5th rock, I have 40 lines of code here that parse through this number and then might return me a rock. All manually done. And I sit here multiple years down computer science education and 2 computer engineering degrees later saying, what are you doing, Connor? But it's fun. Just like it, you get to see how far you grow, how much you grow when you look back at some stuff you've done from just so long ago. Just like YouTube.
Great nickname for a Turtwig, but for some reason, whoa, my DS screen's broken.
And I've probably talked about this a good bit on my channel before, being able to look back when I pointed that little camcorder at a DS screen and started my first Shiny Diamond and Pearl Let's Play, and then Black and White soon after. And going from that to my later videos with actual real product-worthy video editing software and Final Cut, dang it, as well as capture card quality, better mics, can't quite reach into the camera frame. That probably sounded awful too. It's fun to see yourself grow and learn. Also, you can see this 3-second timer is not quite 3 seconds. It actually counts up to 180 every single time there's a frame, which it's supposed to be running at 60 FPS, but doesn't, especially when things start loading in. The frame rate is significantly worse, and that's why it's on 3 for so long while you load in all the rocks and load the textures and spawn things in. Oh gosh, and then it slowly gets faster and catches on. So these rocks are all completely randomized in their spawning. They cycle through, so you have your one rock that starts at the top, it'll fly all the way to the bottom, and then when it cycles through, it gets called back up to the top, sets a random velocity, pointed downwards of course, hopefully towards the screen, and I have like no control myself over how exactly the rocks come at you, and I just hope when I am here in my little spaceship that they won't completely trap me. And I've actually been doing pretty well. This is my second attempt at recording this video. So I've gotten practice from last time, which was a lot. Dang it, I say it. I have to say it, and I mess it up. Great. There's still some bugs, as you can see. My ship just disappeared, and sometimes will decide to disappear at the very beginning of loading things in. Not everything's perfect. Yeah, no, not by any means. But it works. And I really, really wish I could share this game, but the code doesn't compile, and I'm having to record this on my old 2011 MacBook because the build does not work on newer Mac operating systems. I've tried moving it to a newer MacBook and it just doesn't work. It just is not compatible. Oh boy, like that. See, that's some of the stuff that can happen when all the rocks come at you and you really can't get out, and it's just, you're done for. There's not much else you can do. That Zelda font game over comes on the screen and you lost. So anyway, this is kind of it on the game that I wanted to show. I was super excited to make this years ago, and I wanted to show it off, and then as things do, and I was starting to go off to college for the first time, never got around to recording it. And I'm only a few days now from moving across the country to Seattle from Atlanta to start working full-time. And as I'm going to leave this old MacBook behind here at home, it was either now or never to get this video recorded. So I'm glad that PokeCon 14 can make a resurfacing again for the first time in quite a while. I think a few years it's been since I last kind of made some life updates. Ooh, so consider this one more of said updates as I show off this game. So as you could have seen, it doesn't seem like I'll be making a whole lot of videos and haven't quite been active on YouTube as much. It has been a fun and wild ride, which I have learned so much from, and at least for the time being, you never know if I'll end up being back on, have some other sort of either passion for a different type of video production and gaming, or whatever it might be. If this channel or another channel will end up coming back in full force, I Can't make any promises about where life will be, but these videos and this channel will always remain here as such a fantastic memory, such a great learning experience, and a big part of life growing up for me. So for that, I just want to say thank you for the YouTube community and the platform and all the crazy things that have gone on here, for everything it had given me over the years. Ah! No, that's a lot of rocks. I'm just hiding in the corner, which is dangerous because rocks can come from off screen that you just do not even see, because they can spawn not just directly above the screen, but to either side, right or left, and then come in and clip the side of it. And nothing's going to stop it from doing that. There could be one traveling right barely at the side next to the screen. Oh boy, I could not have gotten out of that. Dang, that was a good run. That was a good run. 38 seconds. Not bad. The only way to win is staying alive, by the way. Another thing about this game, a little feature that I liked, was that the rocks do spawn more frequently as time goes on. I think I used some sort of logarithmic function to improve the spawn rate and respawn rate of the asteroids as they come through. So it will slowly get faster and faster and harder to keep going. Oh boy. You might have seen also some rocks that disappear. I knew that was coming. Some rocks disappear before they make it all the way through and off the screen. And that might be because they got called. They were called once, they started coming through. They're midway through the screen, and then they had already cycled. The game had already cycled through. Where'd my ship go? And the game had already cycled through all of its rocks, and that one before it got a chance to finish got called right back up to the top again. It's tough life for some of these asteroids. It's just funny when it happens and you see something that was about to hit you, then it disappears, and like, oh, that probably wasn't supposed to happen. And as the game designer, I'm like, yep, that was not supposed to happen. But I was too lazy to keep typing out rocks for much longer. Ooh, like that one. That definitely should have killed me. Dang, that's tough. Not a bad run, 42 seconds. Anyway, I will scroll through this code again. I don't think I fully did last time, just in case anybody wants to learn how to make a game. You can pause through this on your own time. I'm not going to go make a whole nother coding video like I did before. That last 45-minute beast of me going through every line of code I wrote in the previous game. Yeah, not my thing. Again, if anyone watches that, I'm power to you. I mean, yeah, look at this. This is all of the instantiating the rocks, all manually. That just hurts for me to look at. But if anybody wants to remake this game and play it yourself, there's all the code that you need. All the assets were actually default in Apple's Swift and their game scene, game kit, whatever it is. So that's kind of what gave me the idea. They had a ship graphic, and I just kind of started playing around and putting things on here, and like, this would be kind of fun if it just dodged random asteroids, and boom, there we go. That's the game. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching if you've stuck around this far. I hope you enjoy this game, and maybe someone can take this idea and actually make it a fun reality at one point, because it's been fun for me to play. It was fun to make, fun for me to learn about, and ultimately, yeah, just a great experience. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. And yeah, I don't really know how to sign off. The first video I've made in ages, and maybe last one I'll make for a little while. But it's been a pleasure, and I will see you some other time. Goodbye.